All right, so the three of us did watch something that was very good. We all watched Spider-Man: Homecoming, starring Tom Holland. Again, our spoiler-free review is in Coming Distractions. Mike and I sat down and talked about it. So we are going to talk spoilers. So if you have not seen Spider-Man: Homecoming, pause, run out of your house, go see it, come back, continue playing. All right, what did you think of Spider-Man: Homecoming, Carrie?
Spectacular. It was so good. Like,
did you say amazing?
Yeah.
Avenging? That was a terrible comic title.
Avenging?
That was a Spider-Man comic.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a terrible comic too.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it's what Spider-Man needed in a film. Yeah. He needed a good film that wasn't another origin story, that had a good villain.
A damn good villain.
And, you know, brought Peter into the MCU in a human and realistic way. Yes. And I thought this really nailed it.
Yeah.
Michael Keaton is a scary motherfucker. Like,
yeah. I think Michael Keaton would kill a kid. I feel like Michael Keaton would murder a teenager.
Dude, that fucking scene in the car.
In the car, I've never held my breath in an MCU film until that scene in the car where, like, the whole time I was like,
he's gonna kill him.
He's gonna kill him.
Tom Holland's gonna get one movie.
He's gonna fucking kill
I guess we're getting Miles Morales because he's not gonna make it. I thought he was so good. The funny thing is, Keaton was such a standout, but it wasn't when he was in the suit. Like,
it was when he was outside of the suit. Like, he was so good. He didn't have a lot of screen time, but every time he was on screen, it was like, what the fuck is this dude gonna do?
He was compelling. Like, he really was.
He was really good. That car scene, he was like, I will kill you dead. And I'm like, well, that's redundant.
Well, you're definitely from New York.
Right. He's like, I will kill you. I will kill you dead. I will kill everyone that you love. And the fact that actually the entire scene, I love that whole scene. Because he's talking, he's like, as he's driving, he's like,
a lot of coincidences lining up here.
Did you notice that the light changed to green as soon as he figured it out?
I didn't even. Yeah. He's like, oh shit, son.
Yeah, like you see it in his eyes that he's got that, like, he figured it out, and then the light changes to green, and I was just
that's fucking cool.
You're fucking clever.
I gotta say, people gave sort of mixed reviews. I haven't seen it yet for Cop Car, which is John Watts' first movie, and people largely I think liked it, but it was like, I don't know about this guy. No, this dude nailed it. He fucking nailed it, dude. Like, he was able to pull. I don't really think pull is probably not the right word, but he was able to bring out a hell of a performance from Keaton. Tom Holland, I thought, was really good. Like, he had that kid whimsy about him that just worked. I wrote in the fan group, the nerdpocalypse.com/fans, I wrote in the fan group that one of the things I like about Holland's Spider-Man compared to Tobey Maguire or Andrew Garfield was he has something as an actor that they don't, which is he's a kid. Like, he literally did an interview a long time ago, and they were like, hey, if you could be any superhero, who would you be? And this was like years ago. And he was like, I would love to be Spider-Man. And he's like, and then he got to be Spider-Man. So for him, it's like Peter Parker going, I wish I was a superhero. And it's like, I'm a superhero. Right. Holy shit. And it's like, it's not acting. Like, it's coming through like him for real being like, holy shit, there's Iron Man. Like, he's excited about it, and it comes through, and that's super fucking cool.
Like, in the beginning sequence when he's like filming, he's like, I did all this shit. He's a child. Like, he's playing 15. He's 15 in the movie, and he's like fucking hype.
Yeah,
and it feels like he's fucking hype.
I love that. I love that scene where they show all the recordings, and he's like talking to the camera. He's like, and then I was like, hey everybody. He's like, then I came in like this,
and I snatched the shield, and then I was like, hey, on the rules, and I was like, this is so fucking awesome. Like, look, that shit was fucking awesome. Like, it really was. And then, but
Happy Hogan's like, he's like, the walls are thin here. This shit was hilarious.
Sorry. But and also when they had the trailers, like, and they had him and Tony Stark, a lot of people were like, oh,
how much is Tony?
Really, how much is he going to be in here? And he was in it for like 10 minutes.
Maybe
if that. And he was basically like a surrogate father to him.
Yeah,
but he's a shitty dad.
He's a fucking shitty ass father. He's like, we brought you out here to have all this fun, and then we don't need you anymore, nigga. Get out of here. But come on, dog.
The thing that really stood out to me was the ferry scene where, Peter thinks he's gonna get these guys,
he's like, if
and
I
then
can do this, then you will finally let me be on the team.
And then, of course, Tony had, using Peter's information about the Vulture and his crew, rounded up the FBI and put him on the ferry and didn't bother to fucking tell Peter about it. So, of course, Peter goes, and then Tony has to come in and scold him, even though that could have been avoided if Tony had just been like, hey, I'm sending in the FBI. Don't even worry about it.
Thanks to the information you gathered, we're going to go ahead and get these guys. But he let him do it. It's like, come on, he's a 15-year-old kid that can stop a fucking, what did he say? I can stop a bus with my bare hands.
Right.
Like, what the fuck do you think he's going to do?
Yeah, I'm not going to wait on the cops. Get out of here.
Fuck that.
Tony Stark is the worst dad.
He really is. But, and I do like at the end where he kind of like, he tried to play up like, hey, like, it's cool. Like, I expect you to do all that. I'm like, no, you didn't.
Like it was a test. Like, no, nigga, shut up.
He's like, oh, was this all a test? Yeah, it was a test. Shit. I did, a couple of things. I was a little leery on the suit being as teched up as it was.
When I said that, that was one of my biggest pet peeves about the movie.
Because I want him to do it.
The suit, I mean, it was part of the plot because it was like, okay, I have this cool ass suit, but I still have these powers. But this suit allows me to use my powers better.
Yeah.
But I'm like, it was almost to the point where he didn't have spider sense. He got dragged a lot.
Yeah,
he had shit thrown at him, and he didn't know it was coming. Like, how the fuck did you not know? There was one section when Vulture came out of nowhere and just grabbed his ass. I'm like, where's your spider sense, my nigga? What's going on? Like,
well, it's funny.
What's going on?
It's funny because
maybe it's growing pains, but at the same time, he's had these powers for a little bit of time at this point.
Well, John Watts, the director, said that he does have spidey sense because somebody asked him out there, like, dude, where is it, right?
Yeah.
But he says he does have it, but the problem was the other movies, he felt like they relied on it too much, of like the slowdown and all this other stuff. So they didn't want to do that in this one. So
I didn't really. I didn't need slowdown, but like he
should be aware.
Horrible situational awareness through this entire movie. I'm like, what the fuck?
Well, and also now this was something that I thought was kind of interesting. Like, I don't remember if it was in Civil War or it might have been in Civil War. They talked about like he uses the reason why he made those shutters for his eyes, like in his original suit, was because he was hearing
sensory overload.
Right, he was getting sensory overload. So maybe that's something they play up in the next movie or Infinity War or whatever, like him kind of being able to calm the world so he can actually utilize his spidey sense more. I don't know, but who knows? So
I didn't have a problem with
the tech suit.
No, I mean, like, I liked it because like he's such a nerd. And, he can appreciate the tech that went into it. And, you have that scene in the hotel room where, like, he's, going in with his own computer and, like, picking that shit apart and whatnot. And I feel like without the teched up suit, we wouldn't have gotten that side of Peter and Ned.
Almost became a character in itself.
I mean, with Karen.
Once he like pulled out the training wheels, like the suit became a character. A bit of a dick too, because he's like, you don't know how to use this shit.
Yeah, what's going on, dude?
The fuck are you doing?
Right.
You didn't
do the training manual, or
you passed your training, right? That's why you're able to do this, right? Like,
yeah, maybe. Well, and it's funny because, like as you're saying, like once the suit is fully unlocked, and then you actually get like more vocalization from the suit and everything. Like, basically. And it's funny because that's I forget the actress's name. She's married to the guy who plays the Vision in real life. I can't remember the actress's name. But so incidentally, like they both play computer voices in the MCU, which is kind of funny. But once she fully gets realized as a suit, like I kind of dug it then. Like the scene in the warehouse was fucking great.
When you were just talking to her?
Yeah, because I like that. Because like one of the things about Spider-Man is he does spend a lot of time, like if you read the comics, he spends a lot of time in his head, right?
Yeah.
He's always like, oh, like I'm rereading all Ultimate Spider-Man from the beginning, right? And like he spends so much time dialoguing to himself. So in this case, they can still do that while having him talk to somebody that only he can hear, which actually is kind of smart. One of the things that I was glad happened at the end, and I hope that it becomes a thing for the future, is I'm super excited to see that fucking other suit, what I assume the Iron Spider suit. Yeah. I'm glad he didn't take it then.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, don't take the fucking suit. It's too early. Yeah. It's too early. But he should absolutely get that fucking
Infinity
suit.
War Part 2? Yes.
He should. And that suit better have the fucking gold legs. Because that shit would be amazing for that to be like, oh shit, like, what's this do? And then they fucking come out and he's able to use those. That would blow people away who don't know about that suit particularly. So, I don't know, man. I was down for it. I thought it was great. It really is a 5 out of 5 for me.
I think it's the best Spider-Man movie.
Oh
yeah,
without a doubt. For me. But I also put it as like in the top 3 MCU movies for me. Like I really thought it was great.
I don't know that I would rank it that high.
I'm trying to find
like it's good. It's top half. But
yeah, for me it's like Winter Soldier, Guardians, Civil War, like those are like top 3, so somewhere in there.
Guardians 1 or 2?
Guardians 1. Okay. Guardians 2 I thought was great, but I think Guardians 1 is I mean, it was something we hadn't seen before, so like it's slightly unfair to even say. But but it was great.
And really both of the Guardians movies are like the MCU films that have like elicited a strong emotional response for me.
Yes.
That scene where he's under the rubble.
Dude, I'm not gonna lie. I was just like, you're hurting me, Peter. Like that shit, like he was screaming like a fucking kid. And you were like,
he's screaming not at Peter, but he was saying, "Get up, Spider-Man."
Yeah, I was like, that feels too good. I was like my little nerd heart grew 3 sizes that day. Like I was just like, that fucking felt perfect. And like even in the review when I was talking to Mike about that, I was saying like there is a scene in this movie and you will know it when you see it. That like right there, you're like, that's fucking Spider-Man. And because that's a very famous scene from an early book. And it's just like that's a moment where he truly became that character. Yes. And that was fucking awesome. It was just, and look, it goes to show you one major thing. Marvel knows their characters better than anybody.
Give a fuck about the source material.
Yeah, turns out.
Good job. But the thing is, like Sam Raimi loves Spider-Man, but he was just.
I don't know. I thought the first 2 Raimi films were pretty respectful of the source material.
I don't know what the fuck happened to the third one. Like I damn near walked out.
What third one? What third one? It was not good.
Look, I love the first 2 Spider-Man films, and for me, they hold up really well. But I'm also coming from a slightly different perspective, where I was like 12 when the first one came out.
Yeah, I was 20. 20 or no, that's not true. 22.
First one came out in
2002.
Yeah, I was 22.
21.
So, for a kid like myself who was like hitting adolescence real hard.
Your mind was fucking blown.
That was the best.
Spider-Man is real.
Spider-Man, the first Spider-Man movie, one of my friends in the neighborhood, his dad came and got us from school and took us to see Spider-Man right after school one day. And that's when I was like, you're cool for like an old guy.
Meanwhile, that guy was 30, and you're like, you're so cool for an old guy.
Yeah.
He's our fucking age. Fuck you, Carrie. Get out of here.
Oh, whatever.
That dude was like 37, like, hey guys, you guys want to see Spider-Man? Like, whatever, old man. Like, get out of here. I'll be dead by the time I'm your age.
Now, the 2 amazing Spider-Man films completely evaporated from my mind.
And the thing is, like,
I actually liked the first one.
Those. I didn't. Well, the second one.
The second one had suffered from all the same problems that Spider-Man 3 suffered from.
Yep, they tried to do too much.
Bloated.
Yeah. Where this one did that balance correctly, which is a villain, a bunch of other smaller villains who got a little bit of screen time, not too much.
We saw Shocker. We saw
2 Shockers.
Right.
2 Shockers, the Tinkerer.
Yes.
And the Vulture. And it didn't feel overloaded.
Was it the Prowler or whatever?
Yeah, Prowler was there. Also, Matt Gargan.
Yeah.
Scorpion. So, like, it had a ton of fucking villains in it, but they weren't all like, I need a whole act to discover who I am. Like, no, you don't need all that.
No, it's just like, hey, here's a dude calling himself the Shocker because he's a douche and he has a glove that can shock people. He's the Shocker.
That's it. So I definitely want to see more from Bokeem Woodbine, the angriest man in America.